I hold circles of men on a regular basis, men speak men's groups, and men basically get together, hang out and get real. And I think the scariest part is going for the first group. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to go into a group of men, I'm going to be humiliated, I'm going to be abandoned, they're going to take the piss, there's going to be weird stuff going on. But once they're in the room, men are dying to talk. Men are dying to tell the truth. In fact, men want to come alive. It's not about dying anymore. It's not about pretending anymore. And it's absolutely brilliant. The sad thing is most of these men don't have anywhere in their lives that they can get real. And even if they do, some of them wouldn't want to risk their communities because it's like, well, it kind of works and this is where I belong. Why would I want to, mess that up? I'll go and take it somewhere else. Another thing that really works is it's not therapy. It's hanging out, it's getting real, and it's learning from other people's mistakes. So in a way, there's an environment for men to grow. When I was a kid, we dare not talk about the trauma that we went through, because if anyone from my family said, this is how I feel, or this is my experience of what happened. I'm from a refugee family and there were people, we were on the death list. If one cracked, then we might all crack and it wasn't worth the risk. There was no way that any of us was going to talk about it.
Sense of survival, I suppose.
Total survival. And my mother was smart enough to say, if you need to cry, then it's okay if you go to the loo and lock the door and make it safe and cry, but let it pass. I couldn't until my 40s. I'm 54 now. And the fear, no, it was my 30s, I don't know, I'm too old to remember to count properly. But the fear was, if I start crying, I might not stop. If I start talking, I might go mad. If I take the lid off this, then I could be stuffed. The picture I had was I'd be in a straitjacket in the corner of a room, rocking, and I'd have loads of stuff going on in my head, but I'd have no way to kind of bridge it to the outside world. It was like I'd be alive inside and full of trauma or full of life, but disconnected from the world. So for me, it's like, where do men go in order to find an environment that can hold them so they can start opening up, or so they can start telling the truth, or more than anything, so they can be met. And it wasn't easy for normal therapy or normal people to kind of meet me because I had a strange story. But I feel that if a man can be met in the place of, say, the broken spirit or the trauma or the drama or whatever it was, just to be met there and to be sat with there, then it can shift. That kind of feels like a real beginning. So yeah, great, I've got men's groups and stuff and I train people to run men's groups, but for me it's like, that's not for everyone. Where can people go to be heard, to be sat with, not to be laughed at, not to be fixed, not to be, have another drink or anything, but in day-to-day life, where is there?
Like we said about not to be fixed, because that's kind of in line with not telling someone how they should feel and trying to fix everything. I think a huge part of it is just listening. Someone spoke about NA groups earlier and how the beautiful thing about them is you just talk. You're not spoken, no one speaks back to you, no one tells you anything, you're just allowed to talk, and a lot of it is people do actually, like you said, just want to be listened to, given the chance. I know we'll talk about men not wanting to speak, but I've spoken to a lot of people who it would have been assumed they didn't want to speak. You spend a little bit of time with them, you familiarise yourself with them and you build up a bit of a rapport, and then there's something that comes out in conversation and then everything comes out. So I agree with you that men actually, given the chance, do want to talk. As to where that place is, what it needs to be, isn't it, right? It is, but it also, I think what it needs to become is everywhere. We shouldn't have to go to support groups and then to support circles, and they are great for some people. There's a lot of people, myself included, who don't really want to go and do that in that fashion. I would rather be able to have a conversation with my friends, because they're the people that I love and trust the most, and I feel that I should be able to be open in front of.
Well, hanging out.
But gradually, bit by bit, hopefully that will become a reality.
You describe it a bit like a pressure cooker, like you kept so much inside that you were afraid that if you just open the lid a little bit, that everything's sort of just going to come out and it's going to be too much. And I think that there's a campaign where it's ask again, isn't it? Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Ask them again. Ask them again and again, are you all right? And I think that a lot of people like a pressure cooker, they've got a little bit coming out constantly, and then you eventually